Welcome back, Ballroom Dance friends. Okay, today's topic. Do most dancers take lessons with multiple teachers or just one teacher, and why? So if your coach is worth their weight in salt, they are at a minimum allowing you to take with other pros. Okay? Even if that's just encouraging you when there's a good visiting coach in the area, take a one-off with that coach and then come back to them. This is generally helpful for your dancing, okay? And sometimes pros will actively refer their students to other pros in their same town. And there's various reasons for that, or they might suggest that you fly somewhere to take with someone that they think is going to be very helpful to you in a way that helps in addition and complements what they're teaching you, okay? So number one, I always took with multiple pros. Often, almost always, I recommend my students take with other pros, particularly in the case where they are pursuing styles that I don't specialize in, okay? So if you have a ballroom dance teacher and they're kind of experienced, of course, we're going to be able to teach anything. But that being said, when someone comes in for that first, few months of lessons, I'm just giving them a hodgepodge of dances to find out which style is most enjoyable for them. And often I find out it is not one of the styles that I specialize in. So I have had private lesson couples for West Coast swing, for hustle, for salsa, even Argentine tango. This is not my jam. And I have weaknesses and strengths and weaknesses, just like every other pro out there does. And so when I run into a student who really wants to delve into those styles, I'm going to be honest with them. You know what? You're going to get more value taking with this coach. I even recommend they switch. And honestly, sometimes they do switch. Sometimes they come back to me. They're like, you know what? I tried so-and-so and I like your teaching better. But at least I have been forthright and honest with them, in what they can expect from me. Because you know what? The ballroom dance world is small. I don't want that. I would be embarrassed if they were to go out there on a floor and embarrass themselves and not be as good as someone else, or have them talk to a couple they can see is obviously better than them. They're not blind. And then they're like, oh, you take from Sunny Page? Oh, why would you do that? She's horrible at West Coast Swing or whatever. Hey, it is full transparency, pays off in the end, because they have full confidence going forward that I have their best interest at heart. And I'm always going to tell them the truth. I'm not just some money grubbing, trying to stuff my pockets with as much as I can. Okay. Now, unfortunately, guys, there are some coaches that are gonna that can sell a bag of ice cubes to an Eskimo, okay? And they are gonna present to you as if they are God's gift to dancing in everything. And you know what, guys? That is a big old warning bell. The best dancers definitely specialize, okay? And that's fine. That's great. If you're just a social dancer, and we do have many friends on our channel who are, hey, it doesn't matter. I am sure your one pro is amazing. And if they bring you joy and you're seeing some progress, fabulous. Don't change rodeos. But if you're a competitor, I would definitely pursue the best coaching I can, that's accessible to you. And roll from there. You're going to grow faster. Okay. Now, if you're self-motivated to try another pro, great. I do know couples who, quote unquote, fire their students if they, I'm using their terminology, cheat on them, don't trust them, whatever. They take with anyone else outside of them. So, if you're an amateur student or especially a couple, just be aware that that stuff might happen. And so proceed with caution. So kind of just keep your eyes peeled in your studio, on your pro, culturally, what's going to be quote unquote tolerated, or, make an informed decision. If you're not getting the results you want, it might be worth that risk just to go and take with another pro. I hate to say that, but there are some pros that either based in insecurity, they're afraid that you're going to think they're not good, which is ridiculous. You wouldn't be taken from them if you didn't like them. But you know what? I've seen it, just sharing that. Or if they're just greedy, we have an issue. And most pros, for the record, are not like that. Most of us are like super interested in helping our students just get as good as they can, as fast as they can. But there are some shady people out there. So these are just some little things to be cautious of when you're doing this, okay? Now, my own pros, they encouraged us to take with others. They didn't not only allow us to take with others, they encouraged us. They said, if you want to get better marks, you need to take with instructor A, B, C, D. And honestly, they were amazing. These are world record holding champions for national black pole for world black pole titles at the championship pro level. Why would I want to take with anyone else? Honestly, that's what I was thinking at the time. But you know what? They have your best interest at heart. If they're suggesting with someone, that's great. And I do feel that if anything speaks to their integrity, their honesty, their desire for you to be your best, for their lack of greed, for their prioritizing your dancing over, their wallet. Now, my pros did, they never fired anyone, quote unquote, for taking with someone else. However, they did frown on it. According to my friends. Now, I never personally saw it. However, I just know all the, when you all take with one coach, you travel together, you share hotel rooms, you become very close friends over the years. And honestly, many of them would ask, like, how do you guys get away with taking with those people? Because not only would I take with, most of the people they recommended, sometimes I didn't with who they recommended, and I inevitably regretted not taking their advice each time. Also, guys, occasionally they would recommend I not take with someone and tell me why. And one time I went against what they said and took with them. And yeah, I regretted it. Hurt my marks going forward. But anyway, that's another video. But they never penalized us for doing so. And in retrospect, maybe our friends were just walking on eggshells and our pros really wouldn't have cared. It might have just been, like a false perception. Or it's possible also, I've considered the possibility that because we lived out of town, okay? So we were thousands of miles away. I think our coaches did absolutely have compassion for us, and that, we can only go so long without lessons before we start forgetting what we have learned from them. And even though they are our favorite coaches, our favorite lessons, they want us to continue progressing. And so I do feel they definitely had compassion when we did choose to take with extra pros. Sometimes I'd ask them, sometimes I didn't. Now, in retrospect, if I had to do it again, I definitely would have, just as a courtesy, asked, is this okay if I take from so-and-so? Would not take from just any schmo, but at that time there was a great studio in Seattle, which unfortunately went under years ago. I loved them. They were fabulous. And they would bring in like national champion type level, sometimes international couples that were in the finals. At one point, even world standard champions, and give you the opportunity, regardless of who you took lessons with, to come in and take with those visiting coaches. And if anything, sometimes their information was not totally, the same as my pros. That's fine. Because now that I teach, even though I didn't plan on becoming a teacher at that time, they definitely taught things differently. and sometimes in complete contradiction to my pros. But as my coach has said, hey, give it a shot. If it's not complimentary to what you're doing, don't do it. Just try your best in the lesson. And likewise, sometimes they said things in a way that made sense. And I was like, oh, that's what my coaches have been talking about. Yes. And I would kind of master it faster. Okay. And even if it didn't work, now that I'm a teacher, guys, it's so helpful because every student learns in a different way. And so I've got a nice kind of Rolodex of information that, my initial impulse is usually to teach things in the way that worked for me, but we all learn differently. When I find I'm not able to hit that sweet spot and get the result I want, hey, I just pull from that file of, remember when I took that lesson with so-and-so? Totally didn't work for me. Maybe it'll work for them. And guys, honestly, it often does. I can't think of a single lesson I took that was a waste. Well, a couple, but not many. Okay, guys, once again, I've gone over my 10-minute mark. Forgive me. I'm going to do a follow-up on this. But in a nutshell, yes, most high-level dancers do take with multiple teachers. Maybe not on a regular basis, maybe not with two, unless they compete in two different styles. But they're at least taking with that pro and supplementing with visiting coaching. So, hey, if you're one of our pro dance friends on here, I'd love to hear your 2 cents in the comments because I am just one person. I am a long-term professional ballroom dancer. Mama's so old. I was a pro before Dancing with the Stars even came on TV. But we have a lot of friends here with cumulatively lots of ballroom dance experience. And I love when you guys comment and share, oh, here's what I think about this, or here's what I advise, or here's why I do this, or why I disagree with you. I never delete comments. Don't be afraid to disagree with me. And also, I super appreciate some of our pro friends here occasionally comment like, yeah, I've seen that. Just so people don't think I'm just pulling this stuff out of my keister. I'm actually going based off stuff that I've seen over the years reliably. So anyway, I hope that's been interesting. I am going to do a follow-up on this video, probably not tomorrow, but soon, promise you that. If you found that to be interesting or helpful, hey, hit that like button. I get so excited when I see thumbs up. If you have questions, could be about this or any other ballroom dance topic that maybe you're kind of afraid to ask your pro, I'll give you the straight information. I don't know who you are. I have no vested interest in giving you some money-grubbing answer. I'm going to tell you the truth. And if you're really shy to comment, hey, I get it. It's a little intimidating for me every day to just put my face out there on the World Wide Web. So I get that. If you want your privacy, just send me a little private message in Facebook. I will respond to that here, but I will definitely leave your name off and totally respect your confidentiality. So guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you first thing in the morning. And if you enjoy all things ballroom dance, hey, subscribe to our channel. We are a worldwide community of ballroom dance friends here. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Toodles!